Okay, so before we get too far into the weeds here about what is with the WTF, and yes, I'll be playing as Abe Mercules today. There's a situation that I want to discuss here, and it is political in nature, but it's ultimately not going to be about politics. And I will explain. Um, I will explain the reason for um, this post. Here in just a moment after I get done sharing the link so everyone can kind of join in and anyone who wants to see this can. Alright, so that's shared. Here's the thing. Um, I just got off the phone with a family member talking about another not so family member anymore who said something really dumb. Okay. What they said, or what they were mad about, was that Nancy Pelosi could have gotten medical care from anyone. Was getting medical care for a broken hip. Okay. Number one, to kind of iterate my stance when it comes to politics, which should be very well known on this channel. I'm a conservative. I can't stand the Democrats. I think they're a bunch of fucking morons. Okay? But, but, here's the thing. While I would love nothing more than to lock them in a box, a big old box full of pit vipers, and just watch the fun happen, there's something you need to realize about the medical profession, okay? It does not matter how much of a shitbag you are, okay? You could be a literal war criminal and they'll still treat you, and there's a reason for that. It has to do with the Hippocratic Oath. It is who they are. Medical professionals. It is not their job to judge what you have done in your past or maybe even are currently doing. Their job is to make sure that you're in good health. Okay? That is their only concern. Now, the second that you run into a situation where you have a doctor who is claiming to be a professional but refuses to treat people based off of political affiliation, moral obligation, etc., 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 well, then you've met a doctor who doesn't follow the Hippocratic Oath, which by its very nature makes him not a professional doctor. Let me explain. It makes them a person with extensive medical knowledge with the mental and physical capabilities to treat someone, but it does not make them a doctor or a professional. It makes them an unprofessional practitioner of medicine. Now, why is the Hippocratic Oath important? Well, let's talk about if, ands, and buts, okay? Hypotheticals. Hypothetically, let's say you're a conservative and a Democrat, leftist, wackadoo, town, state, whatever, and the only place you can get treatment is a far leftist, wackadoo facility. Okay? Now, number one, if you're conservative, you're probably going to have qualms about trusting these people because of their political leanings. But if it's something simple like, you got a nail in your foot, you need the nail removed and a tetanus shot, and you know that they've done this in the past for other people, do you want them turning you away because of your political beliefs? Or maybe you did something horrible. Do you want your morality to somehow get between you and your medical care? I know I don't. And I don't want it for anyone else either. In fact, while there are some people out there who would say, oh, I wouldn't help Adolf Hitler, blah, blah, blah. If you're a doctor, the name Hitler means nothing. All you see is a patient in need of care. Okay? That's it. That is how it works, okay? The consequences are something for someone else to deal with after the fact. There has never really been a good exception for someone breaking the Hippocratic Oath that has been levied, period. Bar none, no exceptions. I hear people all the time saying, well, what if it's someone who's doing something really, really, really bad? And it's like, okay, let me run this by you. Who gets to dictate what's good and bad? Who is the arbiter of that morality? You? Me? Joe Blow down the street who's going to turn that same standard on you someday? Do you really want to live in a system where you could get your medical care, refused because the doctor or the hospital doesn't agree with you on something? I know I don't. I don't know of anyone with a reasonable sound mind that does. So to those who are saying that Nancy Pelosi doesn't deserve medical care because of her political beliefs, her past wrongdoings, her current wrongdoings, fuck off. You don't know the first thing about being a doctor in the first place. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know most of the advanced stuff. But there's one thing that I do know about doctors. That Hippocratic Oath thing, yeah, that's serious business not to be fucked with. So you can criticize whatever doctor you want for doing whatever bad, horrible thing you want to. I don't care. You can have that opinion. But there's a little thing about opinions. Everyone has them, and just like buttholes, they all stink. So, my point here is not even an opinion so much as it is an established fact. If you don't believe the Hippocratic Oath is a real thing, go look it up. And if you want to sit there and say, but my vaccines and all this other conservative bullshit, which, as we're finding out, is actually true, then look at all the doctors who lost their jobs for refusing to administer it, okay? They still follow the Hippocratic Oath. In fact, in some cases, under their personal beliefs and what they understood to be true from the medicines that they were, subscribed to in the medical science that they studied, that vaccine was not really even supposed to be allowed. Vaccines have a 5-year waiting period for testing. Guess what? The COVID vaccine did not. It was something that they said would work, and that's debatable. There are people who would refute that claim in both directions. Okay? You have people who say that it did, you have people who say that it didn't. You have people who believe it and people who don't. But the doctors at the time who did what they thought was best for their patient and saying, no, you're not getting the vaccine because of your health, because I don't feel like your body can handle it, and then lost their jobs as a result. Or maybe they refused to take the vaccine because they knew it wouldn't be good for them personally, on a personal medical level. Then they made that judgment for themselves, that's for sure, but they got penalized for it instead. And, yeah, it did happen. Go look it up. There's several cases of it. Several. In my state alone, where my stupid governor, Janet Mills, made it a requirement in order to work in the medical field to get this stupid vaccine, guess what? We lost almost half of our medical staff in the state. They went to another state. They went somewhere that they'd be allowed to practice medicine without having to be forced to do something by their government that they thought was wrong. They thought it was wrong for their patients. And guess what? We're still recovering from that stupid decision. done by good old Janet Mills. And I'll never let her live it down. Ever. In fact, anyone who lives in Maine should remember that fact, that she did that. Now, that being said, she's a piss-poor governor and makes very bad decisions. But I'm not going to say she doesn't deserve medical treatment at a medical facility, because that's wrong. That's like being a preacher and saying you don't deserve to have God's forgiveness. That's not how it works. That's not even remotely how it works. At all. That's like sitting here saying, just because I make a mistake, all of a sudden, all of a sudden I don't deserve to breathe because I made one mistake. If you've paid for your mistake, according to society as a whole, you should be fine. In the medical profession, none of that crap matters. The same thing is true in most of the legal profession, and also in business and a lot of other professions. Professionalism. Look, I'm an auto mechanic, okay? I will look you right in the face when I say this, because it is the truth. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've done. When you come to me with a broken car and your money, it is my job to make sure that that vehicle runs. Any problem beyond that is between you and the law. If you decide to make it my problem, I have a nice size 34 millimeter freaking giant wrench and a couple pipe wrenches that I'm sure you probably wouldn't want to get acquainted with. But if you decide not to make that my problem and you decide to come here and get service, then guess what? I don't have a problem with you. I mean, I might, but that's not the issue. The issue is you came to me with your vehicle. It's your safety, your family's safety, and the safety of those on the road that comes first, not my personal prejudice towards whatever it is that you've done wrong in your past. Okay? It's the same thing with medicine. It's the same thing with avionics. It's the same thing with food. It's the same thing with the military. It's the same thing with a lot of things. Okay? Well, the military's a little bit more flexible, but they still have a level of professionalism that is attained and retained. It's not very high according to some of the vets that I've talked to, but it is still there. But we're talking about medicine here. I don't want to go up to the nearest hospital with a broken leg and have to sit there for 3 days to get medical care because I have to wait for the one doctor who shares my political beliefs to show up, and then I die from an infection or something. That's not the way it works. I'm sorry, that's not the way the American medical system works. That's not the way any medicine works. As far as I'm aware, the National Institute of Health, as much as I have an issue with them regarding COVID, the one thing that we all agree on is the Hippocratic Oath. And they might claim that they're a little bit more flexible on it, but it is the one thing that they do believe should be constantly enforced. They just have a different belief on what health is. Any other globalist or state-funded hey, you want to know where this is really prevalent? Go to a private doctor somewhere someday. Do it. No, I mean it. Go to a private doctor, a private practice doctor, with a broken leg. Go to his home on a cart, like a skateboard or something, and you're on your butt with your leg broken and you're screaming in pain, and he can see. Why is this guy not dying? Oh. And he will see for himself that you are in fact injured. Guess what? You might get a bill later, but 98.9% of the time, they are not going to turn you away. And the reason for that is that little thing called the Hippocratic Oath. Okay. They are, as a medical professional, they are not allowed to turn people away. So sure, is Nancy Pelosi a witch, a scumbag, the C word, a bunch of other things that I personally agree with? Sure, whatever. Does it matter when it comes to her health care? No. No, it does not. Do I think people saying that it should online are stupid? Absolutely. Every last one of you are fucking retarded. And you know what? YouTube, you can ban me for saying that if you want. Go ahead. I'm willing to die on this particular hill. I think that anyone saying that someone doesn't deserve medical treatment because of X reason is absolutely the definition of the word retarded and is a scumbag. Plain and simple. Yep. And no, I don't use that to be derogatory towards people with any sort of disability. It is literally insulting to people who do this very disgusting thing that I really don't like. And by the way, this is coming from someone who wants to see a Chomo, who would love to see Chomos as a whole put foot first into a bunch of wood chippers. Okay? If I'm saying that, what I'm saying is sure I do. And right up until the point that they're put foot first into the wood chipper, I want them to be in the best physical possible health. There you go. It's not that contradictory when you think about it. See, that's why I'm not a doctor. I don't have a problem feeding a Chomo through a wood chipper. So therefore I cannot take the do no harm oath. I can't do that. Because I can't guarantee that I won't at some point. I can guarantee that I won't in my capacity as a doctor or medical professional, sure, 100%. But outside of those responsibilities, meaning when I'm off the clock or, otherwise, oh no, I see someone doing something to a kid. Game on. These fists are going to do some talking. But, you can't use the medical system like that. It's not right. It's not acceptable to even discuss, nor should anyone. I would actually argue that if you're a medical doctor and you're discussing doing this to someone because of political beliefs, 100% I think you should lose your license. Man, I hope I'm using the right type of ammo. Huh. Weird. But okay. Oh yeah, I had to respec for dexterity and intelligence. It was a gem thing. Right. And I was waiting to get down to this point because I need to get in here. Okay. Oh yeah, the bone pits. Hooray. Not exactly my favorite part of this game, but
It's getting rather ugly around here. Smells like
it smells of
necromancy.
necromancy. You're in a place called the Bone Pits, dude.
Killing time. That's one down.
Well, let's see here. That's where my deceleration went. Okay. That's fine. Ugh.
Are you streaming?
Yes, I am actively.
Your pants did not get clean and they did not get dry.
My pants did get clean. They probably didn't get dry, but they did get clean. So,
Because the legs were tucked up inside.
yeah, that happens. That's normal. Graham, they're work pants. They're carpenter's pants. They look like that all the time anyway.
So you want to put it back and dry it.
Yeah, go for it. But don't put them on any heat, please. No heat. Not even sure that the thing ran, to be honest. Okay. Nine to 37, 8 to 35. Leech's physical damage is life. Okay, no, I think we know exactly what's going to happen with this. Dual wielding what exactly? Kind of hard to dual wield if you don't have hand crossbows or swords or daggers or really anything that can be dual wielded. Yeah. Just saying.
Killing time.
Probably gonna have to take this controller apart and clean it. The trigger has this weird, not really like stick to it, but like when you hold it down too long, it feels like it doesn't want to release, but it does. Kind of like soda got in my controller or something, you know? Yeah. It's not a very good feeling. So I'm probably going to have to bust out the iFixit kit and the Hyper Tough Precision Tool kit and take the controller apart. It's not very hard to clean. You just take off the plastic. Just give it a quick once over. Make sure sure that if there's any gunk in there, it's not in there anymore. I mean, I've had the controller for over a year, so... if that's all that it is, just need a little bit of TLC. You know.
All in a day's work.
But I'll be right back. I've got something to go. Unmute myself. Oh. Wada wada. Yeah. gotta make sure that we're actually, you know, in the active window here. Well, that didn't take long to find it.
I walked into this one.
Oh, I walked into this one. Yep, sure did. Just hope I survive long enough to deal the damage needed to deal with the situation.
Time to take this trophy and run.
Well, that was that was actually kind of fun. After getting my butt whooped all morning.
The Countess, we must.
I got a different idea.
How can I move swiftly?
These?
Oh, let's see here.
Makarkan. Choose or do not. I will take this. Farewell. Hello.
more bloody sand. I'll break ya! Need more time. Not yet. Horrid insect.
I got it. Please be Logan. Please. Hello? Yeah. The game pauses, stupid telemarketers. Dude.
Simple enough. Bloody beautiful. know.
armor-piercing rounds can hive on hit. Rapid shot. On hit, galvanic shards create arcs of lightning, which are effective at shocking enemies. Shocked enemies take more damage. You can reload manually by using this skill again. On hit, galvanic shards create arcs of ice shard. Bolts from incendiary shot shatter on impact, also hitting enemies behind the target. This flash grenades can blind and stun enemies. Be careful, because they can also blind allies. Blinded targets are less accurate. Gas grenades create a flammable poison. Ice shards targets the ground, leaving shards of ice that explode when enemies step on them. You can reload manually by using this skill again. Ice shards targets the ground, leaving shards of ice that explode when enemies step on them. You can reload manually by using this skill again. Ice shards targets the ground, leaving shards of ice that explode when enemies step on them. On hit, galvanic shards create arcs of lightning, which are effective at shocking enemies.
Yeah, whatever. Let me over here for just a moment. Okay, number one. I want constant DPS values, and I'm going to use my mouse to show where. I want to see constant DPS values, whether I have the skill highlighted or not, put the same way that the mice do. Sorry, but this disappearing crap where I have to select it to see it is bullshit. That's a no-go. It makes this effectively useless when I'm going through the menus. Effectively. So, yeah. That's probably a top tier should fix item. Number one. And this could just be unique to the fact that my settings are frigged up somewhere. I don't know. A good way to find out would be to actually go find out. Let's see. Center UI. No. I'm not actually using my mouse right now. Items, hide only, remove only tabs, blah blah blah. to that for my warrior. Occasional tooltips are nice. Occasionally. Okay. So I don't see anything in the menu anywhere for that. There's no reason for it to be under the notifications. And shocker, it's not. This little box here where it says this, I want to be able to hot swap, okay? In game, I don't care. I just want to be able to hot swap. That's general game stuff. Let's see here. I have no idea how that works. So. Which is funny that it works like that, but yet, you know, when you go in here, you can't do squat. And even, you know, it's like they tried to make it so you can use the mouse when you're in your menus, but they didn't bother to code it. I'm just going to leave that one right there. We're going to bounce back to character selection because, guess what? Boop. Controller makes for more fun gameplay for the mercenary, but when you're trying to set him up right, it just doesn't work. So, until they get that fixed. Oh. Okay, that is not where I had that button assigned. Yeah. Let me guess. Okay. Yeah. Another thing. I have this set up for WS80 for a reason. That's better. I think we'll just stick to using this on the computer. And yeah, my computer's over here. Keep looking at it. Make sure that the audio is working because I spent most of the morning streaming something and recording something just to find out that the audio wasn't, you know, the audio from what I was recording wasn't doing the thing. That was annoying. Now, in order for this to work, I straight up need physical damage runes. We're gonna empty out all the extra BS that I don't actually need on my person right now. I can't actually deposit that, but I can get rid of those. Set his skills up for this because I don't have them set right. There's something wrong with that controller.
and personal. Gotta stay quick on my feet.
Well, yeah. That just happened. Alright, give me them spec points. Okay. Now. Why? Oh. Still low, huh? I have an answer for that. I'm not really gonna like it too much, but we'll ditch an intelligence point for a strength point.
Quickly.
I've got a different idea.
Probably you. And we'll go over here and... Oh, wrong one. Cancel it. There you go. Now. Okay, physical is fine. Skill panel. Let's see, Wind Dancer. Probably never gonna use it, to be honest. Kinda just left it there for other reasons. Okay, so far... Is it really my EP rounds? Because I kind of feel like it's been the frag rounds. Yeah, because it is. Okay. Yeah. And they're already set up for fire damage. Apparently nothing because, you know, yeah. Okay, well, I will just keep it like that. Anyway, once we get that figured out,
Here for a story? Do not wander.
well, the extra points to dexterity are welcome, I guess. Oh, if they weren't there already, because I stupidly wasn't paying attention. Yes, looted vault. Yeah, I never could figure out what the purpose of this place is. Okay. Just as a small question. Can drop from anyone, according to the wiki. According to my experience, they can, but I have noticed that they drop a little bit more common in the mines when I was playing as my monk. But that could just be true to that particular time I was in there. So, I'm not going to say whether that's gospel or not. I want actual data from grinding gear to state whether certain runes are more common in certain locations. Even just like saying that much, whether it's true or not, would be a big, like, load off my mind, basically, kind of thing. Not that I require it. Hey, this looks familiar. Money, money, money! Money! Only time you hear me do that is when I'm in the game. Or, you know, if I got lucky and hit the, like, jackpot of all jackpots, basically. Oh. Actually, that's pretty good. That's pretty good, too. Considering my flask situation, yeah, it's definitely an improvement. Hate dealing with resistances. Totally understand why they're needed. I just don't like dealing with them. Yeah, I'm streaming because I don't have actually much to clean up left. I decided to get back on here and give the people what they want. Or maybe what they don't want. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, look. Bunch of boneheads.
Need more time. Not yet.
Man, I hope this works. Like, I really hope this specs the way that I want it to. And then I'm going to counter it by going up here and nailing down that tree. And then from there, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to grab these, obviously. You know, the increased projectile damage as well as the up close and personal part of it. You know what I mean? I can go up here if I really wanted to frig with my build that much, but a lot of this stuff really is ranger specific over here. Like, until you get closer to going down through here. Yeah, so I might just hold to what I'm doing. And piercing, projectile damage. Yeah, a lot of the mercenary stuff is projectile damage. And there's your crossbow reload speed right there. Right there. Yep, cuts it down by, what is that, 65, about 70%. So, okay. Then I need to go down this line and over here to the jewel socket. Okay. Are there any others? Cooldown, grenade damage, which might actually come into play now that I think about it. Attack speeds over here, which not that far away from what I'm doing already. And there's some health regen, just in case I need it. You got some life leech stuff too, with attack damage for physical, which could come into play, I believe. Yeah. Yep. It'll stack. I think it'll stack. I don't see a reason why it wouldn't, but maybe projectile damage and attack damage are different. I don't know. We'll find out. I mean, by the time I even think about getting to that stuff, I'm probably going to be well off of the stream for the day. And if I can remember to look it up on the wiki, I'll go do that. Yeah. That makes it so grenades can fly faster too. So. It does not decrease their fuse time. Yeah, there's one right there. It halves it, which is good. Yeah. This is where your grenade stuffs are going to come into play. Right down here. What are you? Weapon swap speed? I don't know if that affects ammo swapping or not. And there's no tooltip to explain whether it does or not. Movement speed if you've recently offed something. Ailment threshold per dexterity. Cooldown recovery rate. Okay, that's probably important for grenades, actually. What do we got down here? Projectile damage. Ailments. Piercing. Attack speed. Yeah, you got even more speed down here, so... And then you've got all this stuff for reload speed with the crossbow here. So effectively, you have your crossbow bonuses here, which does have a reload speed 15, chance not to consume a bolt. That'd be pretty nifty. That's attack speed. That's handy. And it specs into grenades. So... because the mercenary does not have access to the swords at all, in fact, no one does, as far as I'm aware, unless, it's one of those you have to beat the game to unlock things, which I doubt. Sword's a very basic weapon. I have my doubts that they do that, but hey, you never know, right? Aggravating bleed. Minions, which I don't usually use on this build. Well, I don't, because you're keeping your distance pretty safely, actually. In fact, this thing will probably deal with, by the time I'm done with it, this character will probably deal with what's-her-face pretty quickly and easily. I'm not going to say one shot, because that's probably not going to be accurate, but man. Equipment and gems have 4% reduced attribute requirements. Jesus, why can't we make this just like a flat thing for all of the characters? In fact, why can't we have this in all sectors of the map? Just like one over here, one like over here, another one probably somewhere over in here, and the other one like way over here or something. Those extra attribute points like that are really, really nice. And yeah. It'd be nice to spec into some fire damage, but I can't really see that happening. area of effect would come into play with the chance of explosion that I have on killing an enemy that's lit on fire. Outside of that, I don't really know if it's going to be useful to this character. I do, however, like the idea of going down here, only for the extra damage and attack speed. But that's it. This one is basically useless. But the rest of these, oh god, you're talking about a 40% damage increase with two-handed weapons, assuming that this little tree is not specifically coded to melee only. Then you're looking at 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. You're looking at a damage doubler just by going over here, basically, and in addition, a reduction of attack speed, which could be made up for again over here and in other places on this main tree. So if one were to, I'm not saying that it's a good idea, it's probably a terrible one, invest some points into going over to the warrior's two-handed, you could bolster your damage. Could bolster your damage a little bit. And if my calculations are correct, by almost double. But the question is, how do you get over there without spending a buttload of points and just being an idiot? According to what I'm seeing here, your best bet is just go with the attributes. But really, is it worth it? Is there anything else around here? Okay, so maybe in the case of the grenades, the class that I'm using doesn't use Warcry, so blah. And yeah, it's very isolated. Also, we already have that kind of spec out here too. But effectively, it's just another one of these. But I mean, you're also talking about, if I went from here, you're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels or points. And then you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points to dump in to get the damage bolster that you need from it. So you're looking at about 14 points, which is 14 levels that could be gone into specking into making your crossbow handle a little better. So maybe if I've done everything else that I want to over here and I have the 14 extra points, we'll have that conversation. But I'm going to focus on this tree first. Maybe. There's probably some things over here that I'll like, that I'll grab for some things, but there's probably going to be points that I'm going to skip to. And then I have to work into getting the critical hit chance amped up, because alright. Physical damage builds benefit more from critical hit chance and bleed damage. And if you can find a way to make the bleed aggravate to count as part of your critical hit, it can be pretty brutal to watch. One-handed weapons. Attack damage. Accuracy. So accuracy is kind of an important stat. Okay. Well. Gain an accuracy bonus equal to your strength. I mean, that's not a bad thing.
Horrid insect!
Desert Rune. Another giant life flask, huh? I mean, it could have better perks than what I'm using now, so take a chance. Clean the rest of the way up. Again, not a huge deal. I can get it done. I just have a somewhat limited amount of time to do the stream, so we'll just focus on making it as fun and interesting as possible, put it that way. And nope. Probably the one that I grabbed before probably wasn't that great either.
Not yet! Need a sec. I'll break ya. Need a sec.
There you go. Now that I've done the outside of most of the map, I'm going to go to the one part that I haven't done and see if I can't get into where I need to go. And we'll try to do a quick run, again, as quickly as possible. is there a... Yeah, there it is. Bingo. So yeah, that
I hope this
also
place
is at the
doesn't
beginning of the
bloody cave
stream. I'm not going to repeat it because I kind of repeated it enough today, but just people annoyed me. People got on my nerves. I felt the need to say something about it.
Close and personal. Need more time. All in a day's work.
Yeah. That's, not a good sound.
Killing time. Need a sec. All in a day's work. Need more time. Fire in the hole! got to stay quick on my feet.
Boy, do I have my doubts. Well, wow. Still not convinced it's necessarily better than what I have on, but the bonuses are in the right place. Yeah. Oh, man. Life per hit is a good thing to have. And so is the additional 2 levels on the projectile skills. That is definitely a wanted and desirable thing. And there's nothing wrong with the elemental damages. They're fine. The big hem and haw is at the damage numbers. Okay. 12 to 34 versus 9 to 37. Yeah. I'm not quite sure. I mean, when it comes to putting a socket in a weapon, that's not a problem at all. Let's just go test it out, I suppose.
I'll break you.
Okay. Well, it's not bad. And again, the life per hit is a welcome thing, but
All in a day's work. Close and personal.
This could definitely be doing more damage too, like 100%. But I don't know what to do. I've never built a mercenary before. In fact, this is the first time I've ever had the pleasure. The closest thing to this that I've had is the Diablo 3 Demon Hunter, or the Archer from Forgotten Realms, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1, and the Archer from 2. Probably the three closest examples I have to that. I did not play as those characters much. Fudge. Yeah, feet were getting all chilly on the floor. Which means that the furnace is about to kick on here in a little bit, which could lead to a coughing fit, but that's okay. Okay. Alright, come on, Mr. Terracottas.
Close and personal.
Oh, that's fine. Get up close and personal. A little bit of danger close action there. This is what I think it is. Yep.
Need more time. No room. Dodge this!
Man, they just don't want me organizing my inventory, do they? Not that it matters. I'm gonna have to portal back to Dippy Doo's little caravan. Dippity doo da! Yeah. Arching going on here, huh? It is kind of the winter vehicle. It is kind of winter.
How can I be of aid?
Hey, I'm all for preserving it for next year, but it's not really entirely my call. I'm referring to the car when I say that. My brain kind of skips around sometimes. Okay. That would be trouble. Does the mercenary even have something like that? No. Closest thing he gets is this. Which only happens every so often. So, let's see. Dexterity's not quite high enough, which is to be expected. Huh. Oh, let's see. Okay, that's pretty useful, I guess. Still have that little problem, though. While I'm here, we'll look at things for other characters because, I don't have one of these on the other character. They do, but they're just not. Well, see, I don't have a character that does blocking, so that doesn't matter. I didn't know about the thorns part to that. That's interesting. I guess we're going to be looking at the heralds if I can get enough spirit to do it. Well, because really the only other thing that I'd probably use that would be on the defensive end would be, where is it? Probably this. And that's just so there's a little bit of retribution for anything that comes up and decides my character needs a good little whack. Otherwise, I can't see a reason to do any of that. I do need to do that on my other character, though. But you need a level 8. We're not going to need the spirit gem right now. So I don't have an accident or sell it or something stupid. You know? That thing that can happen sometimes.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Do not I hear you. My wares are renowned.
Oh, let's see. That's impressive, but the rest of the stats are the lack of other stats. But and I'm a far ways away from having another Regal gem handy. Also, I really need to focus on the gloves at this point. Okay, actually, yeah.
Adorn and survive.
Can you do that? I mean, level 12, but that's my movement speed bonus. I know that's kind of a dumb thing to base your build around, but speed can be a good thing. I'm not talking about that kind of speed. Yeah, but I mean,
How can I be of aid?
I got a different idea.
where did I see that? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 10. Oh, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I'd have to reject everything that I've done so far. Just about. Which, again, is a problem. Well, if I sold everything, I'm not gonna do that. Because that stash box is useful. Really?
gotta be worth a fortune.
Oh, you little pricks. Yep. Well, see, now I know where you are, and I know for a fact that you don't despawn.
Not today.
And your big guy may have gotten his health back or whatever, but I'm not really too worried about it. See, I know his attack patterns. I know your attack patterns. I just happen to fall for one of the easiest ones, to avoid.
And Jules. I'm coming back for you later.
Nice try. Okay. Now, we're gonna make a little bit of an adventure out of this because apparently I need to. I'm gonna say my dexterity is pretty high, so we'll dump some intelligence in. I know, with the mercenary, you don't need intelligence. Yeah, gems. Gems and abilities, nothing else. That's important to me. That is also... those two are a little important, but probably not important enough to delve into it too much. Probably the most important thing I can do, other than the reload speed here, and the grenade stuff, is to get down to this crossbow. And... what is that? Attack speed, attack speed, attack speed. Dip into about half of that. Hang on. How many attack speeds are these? 1, 2, 3. Alright, so 19%. But it's the only thing linking this whole thing together, so. Also, we have some unchecked damage up here too, but we'll deal with that later. In fact, actually, we have quite a bit of unchecked damage. Probably about a good enough to double, or maybe even triple the damage output of this crossbow that I am neglecting to go get this reload speed thing. Which, I know it's probably stupid to do, but it does get me closer to this and this. And also, theoretically that, but... not doing minions. We're not doing minions at all. Even though I think those movies are kind of silly and funny. I think they're okay for kids. I don't... Alright. So I'm not saying I'm some sort of expert, but there are things that I let my daughter watch. There are things I don't let my daughter watch. Minions is one of the things I'm okay with her watching, because I feel like it's somewhat kid safe. Somewhat. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that put me in there at 7. Thing is, I don't have the money for it. And I'm really not thinking I should dump a whole lot of resources into doing that either. Oh, you're going... Yeah, you're going in the box, because I have characters that can use you. That's not well. Oh, yeah. Reopen that inventory, please. I have a monk that would love to see you.
No room.
Wait. I know why that's not working. Okay. Here. Let's clear this out first, because that's getting kind of annoying. I'll tell you what, here's what we'll do. We'll kill the fat tub of lard at the end of this little thing. Okay?
What have you
I think that'll be the stream value of what I'm doing today. Okay, that way you guys aren't feeling like you're getting completely screwed out of, you know, your time. Even though it's been 2.5 hours, I haven't really done much productive in this game. Keeping that. I don't care for those, and you... That's kind of a joke. Yeah, let's be honest with ourselves about some of the stuff that we're keeping here. And that is it worth keeping? The runes, duh. I'm keeping the runes. That's kind of a no-brainer. But, like, there are some pretty stupid things that I try to hold on to for little to no reason. And we'll just put those right there. And that frees up a lot of space. Alright, let's go back. Grab the thing with the socket and keep running. I'm not wasting my time on anything that doesn't have a socket or is not of substantial enough value.
Get out of the way!
Your guys' time is important. I have important things I still technically have to do today. I just got back on here because I kind of felt like leaving abruptly the way I did. It was kind of stupid. Even though, you know, it is Christmas season, and I don't think really many of you are actually... If I'm being honest, any one of my 11 subscribers right now, if I'm being honest for a minute, you're all probably spending time with your loved ones, which... Go for it. I will be doing the same thing myself, which is why as soon as I'm done with this, wrapping the presents and making sure the food is in the right place at the right time. You know, mostly the ham, and I get done doing the rest of the shopping that I need to do. I'm going to be spending time with my family by actually getting the pre-recorded Pal World stuff set up for the next couple of days, and you probably won't be seeing too many live streams, if we're being honest. It's just the season. I know I'm not exactly a big channel, and I should exploit every opportunity that I have, where people like Tim Pool and all of them aren't going to be on. I should be on here doing a thing. And if there's something newsworthy, or if it's something I feel like could be, you know, my foot in the door, basically, without putting my foot in my mouth, then fine. But look, the reason I'm doing all this YouTube thing, and the reason that I'd like to be monetized at some point, and I know that there's some content I'm going to have to remove in order to make that possible by YouTube's standards, and I'm okay with that, okay? We're just trying to develop a presence, so to speak. And once that presence is established, and I can get a hold of someone from YouTube about my content, and we can actually sit down and on the phone, they can give me or they can email me a list of videos that either need to be edited or removed entirely. That's fine. And that's not a I'm going back on my word. That's a some of my other content, mostly in the realm of politics, is, I'm not going to say unhinged because I don't think it is, but it doesn't exactly hold to what YouTube wants. And there's a certain amount of this is their house-edness to this whole process, you know? Like, I will do shocking thing to draw attention to something else, right? Nothing too bad, but shocking enough to get attention. Example. Just as an example, right? I want to buy my grandmother's house. I actively were in the process of doing that. We're in the process of literally saving up the money for the down payment, and we're working with the bank to see what we need to do to get a mortgage and all this other stuff, right? And they're sitting and saying all these things about how it's impossible on one person's income, and I'm sitting there like, you have no idea how low our expenditures are. Our highest bill each month is literally the internet at $80 a month. And even that, we're looking at trying to find a way to cut that down to size to like $50 a month. So, you know, our phones are approximately $30 a month, so that's not really a big deal. Everything else is literally just food and child support. Okay, so if we can chop thing, and I can get away with that actually, because I live in a small town. I live about 2 miles out of town, which seems pretty close, right? But think of it another way. Most electric bicycles, e-bikes, are good for about 10, 15 miles, especially when we're talking about the low-dollar ones. Okay? And no, this doesn't work very well during the winter, but consider for a moment, if you will. Yes, we have inspections. Yes, I have to dump money into keeping a vehicle on the road because, you know, there's still grocery shopping, right? Whenever I have to leave town to go to Walmart. But outside of that, the actual expenditures that we have here are not that bad. I am gaming on a laptop that runs on a battery. I can run it off of a solar panel. Most of the electric bill stuff that we have here can be mitigated by removing a lot of the heavier duty stuff off of the electric payload for the whole building and swapping over to propane, and also, you know, outright just not using them in the same way. Yeah, we have a washer and a dryer. I wash my clothes in cold water, and I don't use the heat setting on the dryer part. So, you know. And the reason I do that is because the laundry detergent that I use is, generally speaking, good enough to get the job done. Okay? And, yeah. I mean, when we use hot water, it's for showers. Literally for showers and dishes, that's it. That is it. And we don't use as much water for doing the dishes because we don't dirty up that many dishes. I literally, when I cook, unless I'm cooking a specialized meal like, you know, Christmas, generally speaking, it's a one-pot meal. The other day, for example, I did pancake sausage and eggs. Well, guess what? The sausage and the eggs were being cooked after the pancakes. Okay? In the same pan that I cooked the pancakes in. Just so I didn't dirty up the extra pan. I could have, and it would have made the pancakes probably come out at the same time and would have been warmer and yada yada yada. You know? Another thing. Appliances, actually. Cooking appliances. Anything that can be powered by hand, i.e. a pull cord shredder or a cutter, you know, chopper, that can double as a blender, I use it unless I'm making my mayonnaise, which, a little tip, pro tip, if you want to actually listen to what RFK Jr. is saying and get your health in order, start making your own mayonnaise. It's not that hard. It's just the interaction between, and you're gonna laugh at this, but a raw egg and some acid of some kind in a blender, effectively. And you just stream oil into it while the blender's going, and, you know, lightly, and then you have, bam, the basics of a base mayo. You add your seasonings or whatever you want to it to make it taste however you want. I messed up by adding too much garlic and paprika, so now mine tastes like really spicy, garlicky mayo, which would actually probably go good on a steak sandwich. It went really good with my imitation crab today. Couple that with the fact that, you know, most of your tortilla wraps are pretty easy to make as well. I mean, they're not easy. They take a little bit of work, but, you know. When you start doing this stuff for yourself, number one, I think it makes you feel better. But number two, and more to the point, I really do think that it's better for you. I'm sitting here trading shots with him like this because he mana drains and I'm tired of dealing with it. There's a wall, dummy.
No room.
But yeah, absolutely. I think if you go out and you start doing stuff, I don't mean like every little thing you have to do yourself, right? Like, okay, mustard, for example. Most of your mustards are literally mustard and water and salt. That's it. That is it. And a lot of them don't even add the salt. And you can read it on the back of the label, and I'm sure there's going to be someone to chime off and say, oh, well, processing and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, whatever. If you're that worried about that, then that's cool, I guess. But if we're talking about general practicality here, for most people, making your own mayo and your own salad dressings, nothing wrong with it. In fact, actually, my mayo came out more like a very aerated, very delicious, almost Russian dressing, actually. I added just like a spoonful of, just like a little tablespoon of sugar to it, and it came out really good. Actually, better, in my opinion, than
My pockets are full.
the stuff you get in the bottle from the store. just like a little tip. Sometimes things are better. I don't know why I did it that way. It's kind of dumb of me, but whatever. It still worked out. And yeah. This is kind of a dead end. Killing time. Okay. Well, that just happened. But alright, we gotta kind of put the accelerator pedal on. It's getting close to 2 o'clock, and I wanted to get this done before then, so that way I have this all situated before I have to go pick her up from work, and we have to go do the rest of the Christmas shopping for stuff, and just to make sure that everything gets done the way that it's supposed to. Okay. So I'm gonna put the rune slot in it for now. I kind of need another one, but we're getting there. I don't even have the physical damage stuff that I want to do that the right way, but that's okay. I don't care. Just don't care right now. I'm in a bit of a hurry, actually. I can recompense myself for it later by playing some off-stream and actually playing to enjoy it. I mean, I enjoy streaming it. If I didn't, do you think I'd honestly be doing it? You know. But yeah, effectively the YouTube channel is, yes, I'm trying to monetize something that I enjoy, right? But there's another element to it too, in that we both want to homeschool our kids when me and my fiance have children. And, you know, someone's going to have to be home to make sure that the homeschool work is done and the kids are taken care of. And she's not really the kind of person who likes to do that. I am. So it just kind of worked out that way. And people out there are going to pull that old school, oh, well, you're the man, you're supposed to be providing, blah, blah. I do provide, okay? I provide cooked meals at every meal, more or less. There's a couple of times when I'm streaming that I don't, but more or less I do. I do laundry. When my gram doesn't do the dishes because she likes having stuff to do, I'll do the dishes most of the time. I do the yard work, you know, which this time of year there's not really that much to do. Actually, the guy who likes to plow the driveway for us, I already told him, I said, snow removal's not a problem. I have 2 snow blowers. One's electric, one's gas. And the third one is out of commission because of, I think it might be a chain issue, but I'm not sure. I have to dip into it and see what's going on. And no offense, but if I'm doing that kind of repair, that's going to be a summertime thing. Because we have 2 that already function. I don't have a heated garage to work out of. It's actually a non-heated garage. So doing that kind of stuff, like during the winter, is not something I want to do anymore. I've worked on cars during the winter in that garage, and it's not terrible, but it is just enough to push you over the edge. Of like, okay, I need to have someone else do this because I can't handle doing it anymore. So, I have a couple people that I trust because I've gone to school with them, and as far as I can remember, they were good, honest people that I do trust. And when it comes to people I pay for things, I like to pay for things locally, and I like to make it people that I can actually, rely on to get things done. Now, that being said, the car that is currently being worked on by a former classmate of mine, I told him to take his time. And I just got ambushed. Yeah. Instead of doing what you're supposed to do, which is dropping a grenade, I kind of fluffed off a little bit. But it's also a good damage check. Again, another reason I wish this game had actual... Yeah, those things. Right there. Those are the problem. And why I wish this game had actual damage numbers. Oh, hey. Oh, about to level up again. And there's another point towards getting the better reload speed. Let's see here. Dex is pretty good right now. Here, let's pull up the sheet. Dex is okay, but not great. So we'll probably go with that then. Okay, and let's see here. This is about where I got ambushed, if I'm not mistaken. I know, some of the stuff starts looking the same after a while.
Another notch on me helmet.
I'll take that Regal shard, that's for sure. Ooh, I know this room. Yeah.
Blimey, a trap.
Yep. Okay.
No mana. Out of mana.
Huh. Oh, that was a little less eventful than I thought it was going to be, actually. I thought I was outright going to die in there, but... Okay. Now, don't ask me if I think the reward was worth it. Because I don't. But I did it anyway.
Dodge this.
Yep, there they are, right there.
Out of mana. Another notch on the helmet.
Shroud walked in the wrong direction. I really wasn't paying attention when I did that yet again, but that's okay.
He holds a new loyalty now.
I was mortal then. I was weak.
Then why did you never come look for me after your Night King nears? Sins of the mother.
Need more mana. No mana. No mana.
Sins of the mother.
No mana.
Killed Fat Ass. Maybe. We'll see what we can turn it into.
Never heard of a god in...
Immortal, please, my follower, none. I awoke. I ask you. Death. Thank you.
Would you look at that? Just over 2 o'clock. Just what I wanted.
Some days this job
Grab
is
the essence of
brutal.
water.
Let's take care not to spill
Zippity
this.
doo dah back in place. And I'm gonna Amscray out of the stream after 3 hours because it's Christmas season and things are kind of hectic.
Greetings. Move swiftly.
There was a goddess.
Pretty sure that's the same crossbow that I have already, so. Maybe not this character. But I might need it for a different one, so. And I know that sounds really dumb, I can use those resources on this character, blah blah blah. I've been using the frag rounds a lot lately. I need the jeweler's orb so I can make a double barrel. Thinking about it, really thinking about it, but I think that's gonna wait for a later video. Yeah, it's gonna wait for another video, another stream at another date where I consider what I'm gonna do with that. In the meantime, hopefully you all have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will see you